Hey YouTube, Kiriswig here, bringing you all an update to my Mementotlan Yugioh deck profile for post-Legacy of Destruction. We got some pretty awesome new Mementotlan cards in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set, including the new Fusion monster along with the Fusion spell to go into it, adding some consistency to the playstyle using the many different Mementotlan monsters, and then being able to get out your bigger boss monster of the deck, because that is your main go-to playstyle, which is Mementol Tactalica Combined Creation, and then making use of all the different types of Mementotlan monsters as well as added back up to that boss monster. So very happy with the results that this Fusion monster brought to it, just needing a very simple 2 Memento monsters to make it. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. We're running 3 copies of Mementotlan Anguish. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Memento monster from your deck to your hand, except for Mementotlan Anguish. And you can target 1 level 2 or lower Memento monster in your graveyard, destroy 1 Memento monster you control. If you do, special summon that targeted monster. You can only use each effect of Anguish once per turn, but it's a search power, giving you the requirements needed for your Fusion monster right then and there with 1 monster, and then just needing the go-to Fusion spell, Mementotlan Fusion, but also being able to have the special summon and just being able to destroy Anguish herself to target that lower level Mementotlan monster in your graveyard. Also 3 copies of Mementotlan Darkblade, and as I said before, all of the different types of Mementotlan monsters have different types and card effects to work with the setup of the monsters in the graveyard, with Darkblade being your warrior monster. If it's normal or special summon, you can discard 1 memento card, then target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls, destroy it, and during your main phase you can destroy 1 memento monster you control to special summon 1 level 3 or lower memento monster from your deck. So this is a special summon option for the special summon of the monster from the deck, so you can grab cards like Anguish off of Darkblade. Since it has to destroy memento monster, once again you can destroy Darkblade itself to grab that other monster. And also 3 copies of Mementotlan Mace. During your opponent's main phase, if you control a Mementol Tactalica Combined Creation, quick effect, you can discard this card, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase, and during your main phase, you can destroy 1 Memento monster to add 1 Memento card from your deck to your hand. So this can be your search for your new Fusion spell, Mementotlan Fusion as well, and needing the option to then grab 1 of your opponent's monsters just by having your main go-to boss monster in the deck to use also, with the last of our 3 ofs for the Mementotlan monsters being the 3 copies of Mementotlan Tatsuno Toshigo. If you do not control any face-up monsters other than Memento monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and during your main phase, you can destroy 1 Memento monster you control and send any number of Memento monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard whose total levels are less than or equal to the destroyed monster's original level. So being a level 5 monster with the option during the main phase to destroy Memento monster you control, it can be the special summon resource on the field, or you can even make use of your monsters like the Fusions, Mementotlan Twin Dragon, for the destruction to send a good variety of different monsters that could equal out to that card's level, having a wide variety of different level monsters, including our 1-ofs for them being our Mementotlan Gaddock. If it's normal or special summon, you can target 1 Memento card in your graveyard, except for Gaddock, and add to your hand. And if it's sent to the graveyard by a Memento monster effect, which can be sent off of Tatsuno Shigo, you can then have the play to special summon this card. You can only use this effect once per turn, but just another resource to grab as well. The 1 Mementotlan Goblin during the main phase, if Combined Creation is on the field and you control it, you can discard this card for the rest of this turn. Your opponent can target Memento monsters with card effects, and during your main phase, you can destroy 1 Memento monster to send up to 2 Memento cards with different names from each other from your deck to the graveyard, which could also help to set up Gaddock as a special summon. And then our bigger boss monsters are Mementotlan Horn Dragon. If you have 3 or more Memento monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Horn Dragon once per turn this way. And if it's on the field and destroyed by a card effect, you can target 3 face-up cards on the field, including a Memento card you control, and destroy them. More destruction plays against your opponent. And sadly, I do not have a Memento Combined Creation. It was the 1 copy I was looking for, but couldn't find. So I just have a Tragodia for a placeholder, being the 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense boss monster that we summon out in the deck, being able to special summon it from your hand by shuffling 5 other Mementotlan monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard into the deck, which we have plenty of different names to make use of, but this would be the spot for it if you have it. And then for our other monsters that we run in the main deck, just 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, just a hand trap lineup along with Infinite Impermanence for a small engine to run, just in case you end up going second against your opponent, or, you know, just having another card in your hand to rely on whenever they try to search or set up their graveyard. For the spell lineup. We're running 3 copies of Mementotlan Fusion. During the main phase, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a Memento monster. If a monster in your possession was destroyed by a card effect this turn, you can shuffle Memento monsters from your graveyard into the deck as material. And during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to destroy 1 monster you control. If you do, add 1 Memento spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So this card kind of plays into the same playstyle as a bunch of the other different Memento cards do, for being able to just set up more and more of those cards for the banish, destroying, and adding the different Memento spells that we run, with the other one being our Mementotlan Bone Party. If you don't have copies of Bone Party, you can always run Bone back as a placeholder, but you destroy 1 Memento monster in your hand or face on the field, take 1 Memento monster from your deck with a different name and either add to your hand or special summon it in defense. So just having search power for our one-ofs in the deck is another big help with Bone Party. And also the 1 copy of Mementotlan, which is another one of, but still, once again, searchable, being able to add very easily off of Mementotlan Fusion. And also with this card, if your Mementotlan monster battles, your opponent can activate spell or traps till the end of damage step, so you can use Memental Combined Creation for a bigger 5,000 attack point hit without your opponent being able to do anything, and being able to special summon a Mementotlan monster from your hand or graveyard with a lower level when one is destroyed by battle or card effect. And also the initial setup for more search, the 1 copy of Reinforcements of the Army to search out Darkblade, the 1 copy of Call by the Grave to shut down more of our opponents' hand traps that they may try to use against us, and the 1 copy of 1 for 1. We have plenty of level 1 options in the form of Goblin and Keymace just to be able to summon out while sending other monsters in our graveyard as well off of 1 for 1. And also the 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance, just for more search power by using cards from our extra deck to draw into some better cards as well. And the last of our 3 ofs for our spells being 3 copies of Super Polymerization. This card didn't get hit on the April ban list, which was nice. I think they wanted to promote the Yubel deck as well, but still very, very useful with the fusion plays we do in the deck to be able to use 2 Mementotlan monsters on the field using this card to summon out our monsters as well, since we run a good variety of other fusion monsters on top of that card also. And then for our traps, I'm running 1 copy of Mementotlan Fracture Dance and 1 Cranium Burst, having more of a reason for your opponent to then swing into our monster with Cranium Burst, and then being able to have a destruction play with the Fracture Dance. And then the last of the traps and the rest of the cards in the main deck, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just along with the Ash Blossom, the hand trap of choice to use also, just because if you have no cards in the field, being able to activate it from your hand. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I run 3 copies of Mementotlan Twin Dragon, with this card needing 2 Memento monsters. Any monster destroyed by battle with your Memento monster is banished. So, being a Macrocosmos effect with a 2,800 attack point monster as well. You can only use each of the following effects of Mementotlan Twin Dragon once per turn. If this card's fusion summon, you can destroy 1 Memento monster in your hand or face on the field to add 2 Memento monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. And if this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can special summon 1 level 6 or lower Memento monster from your graveyard, grabbing you that other resource, like some of the better setup cards, just to continue your Mementotlan setup in the form of Tatsuno Toshigo or any of the other ones you may want to summon to get additional searches, like Anguish also. And then for the other fusion monsters, 1 copy of Mud Dragon of the Swamp, 1 copy of Garura, 1 Starving Venom, and the 1 Dragostapelia for just some other super poly targets, having Earth and Dark monsters being the main attributes for our Mementotlan monsters as well. Go well with us being able to take our opponent's own monsters as well to summon these ones out, with our Link monsters being 1 copy of IP, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Oss of the Earth Charmer, and 1 Dark the Dark Charmer, and also 1 Cross Sheep for all of the different Link 2 monsters, and then 1 Relinquished Anima, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and the 1 Apollosa. Just having some good different typed Link monsters as well helps for the variety we run with the different Mementotlan monsters, if you wanted to run different options with all those different cards as well. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as I said before, the setup with a good amount of our cards, getting the special summon of cards like Gaddock on the field, or just having the additional resource now with our different Mementotlan monsters can give us resources on the field to make use of for the send and setup. But now, with the bigger part of the deck also being a fusion setup, once we have those monsters in our hand or on the field, being able just to easily summon out our fusion monster and set up more of these cards in the graveyard to stack up for Mementol Combined Creation can help for the shuffle back effect while keeping more bigger resources on the field, and then being able to use the banish effect for other searches for our lower numbers for our Mementol spells and traps. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, the fusion option always adds a lot to a deck, and when you can just get a extra deck monster, which Mementotlans haven't had since the release of the deck, definitely adds another boost to the deck as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.